Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to review Indiana Jones from the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny series. His drop rate is going to be 27.27% compared to Explorer Scrooge and Explorer Donald. Indiana Jones is a little bit more difficult to get. His ability description is clears diagonal and vertical lines of Tsums. His ability is going to be separated into two different parts. And this game demonstration that you're currently watching right now is a skill level 1 game demonstration. Play with the 5-4 on, and that's the only boost I'm currently using. So let's take a look at his stats. In order for you to activate his ability, you're going to need to clear a total of 18 to 23 copies of Indiana Jones from the screen. Now this number is going to depend on what skill level you have him at, so we'll go over that a little bit later. His minimum score is 50 with a maximum score of 1,275. So Indiana Jones does have a really high maximum score, and if you have him at skill level 6, he could potentially be a good option to get a pretty high score. And if you're trying to get him to skill level 6, you're going to need to get a total of 36 copies of him from the premium box or using skill tickets. So 36 is on the average range, not high, also not low either. Indiana Jones is a very beginner friendly Tsum, so if you're newer to the game or just recently came back to the game, Indiana Jones could be a really good option. You don't necessarily need to focus on the strategy, you just essentially need to casually play the game and you'll be able to earn a decent amount of coins. Now let's talk a little bit about his ability. So when you level up Indiana Jones, two things will change. First of all, it's going to be his skill range is going to increase from extra small to essentially extra large at skill level 6. And the amount of Tsums that's needed to activate his ability will start at 23 at skill level 1. And once you get him to skill level 6, that's going to drop to 18. So what that means is that by the time you have him at skill level 6, you're going to be able to activate a lot more abilities per game, therefore earning you a lot more coins per game as well. Now before I go any further, if you guys are enjoying this type of content where I review Tsums, do monthly leaks, go over the selection boxes and pickup capsule, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your subscription really helps me out a lot. I also have a Discord server, so if you're looking for a community of players who also plays this game, or if you need help with the game, consider scanning this QR code on the screen to join my Discord server. I will also have invite links in the video description down below, so check that out if you can't scan this code on the screen. The invite link should take you directly to my Discord server. Alright, so let's take a closer look at all 6 of the skill levels for Indiana Jones, starting with skill level 1, 2, and 3. At skill level 1, the skill range is going to be extra small, skill level 2, the skill range is going to be small, and medium for skill level 3. The amount of Tsums that you're going to need to clear to activate the ability at skill level 1 is 23, 22 for skill level 2, and skill level 3, 21. Essentially, every single time you level up Indiana Jones, you're going to need one less Indiana Jones to activate the ability. Now, one thing I haven't covered is the skill range and what that really means. Now, if you notice the ability for Indiana Jones, there's a total of 3 slashes. First, he goes from diagonal, the second one will also be a diagonal from the right hand side, and then a middle slash. The skill range is in reference to that middle slash only and not the diagonal slashes. Between all 6 of the skill levels, those diagonal slashes is always going to be the same, and you're going to get anywhere between 11 to 15 depending on what Tsums are on the screen. And if you don't have any bubbles on the screen, you should be able to get anywhere between 12 to 14 chains. But I've noticed that even if you have a bubble in the way, that's okay. Because if you have a bubble on the screen, the slash is going to end up being somewhere around 11 to 12, which is perfect for a time bubble. So if you notice these gameplays here, you'll notice that sometimes I have time bubbles that gets generated, and that's because I don't set up the screen perfectly. And just having Indiana Jones make a chain of anywhere between 11 to 14 is pretty ideal to make time bubbles. So Indiana Jones could be a good option to making time bubbles, especially for any missions that we have this month that requires a Tsum to make time bubbles. Especially if you don't have a time bubble maker, then you could always use Indiana Jones because he's pretty good at making time bubbles as well. But if you are trying to get a high coin count, then you should definitely empty the screen of bubbles before you activate the ability to maximize those diagonal slashes. Now let me show you a side-by-side comparison of the abilities activated at the same time, and I'll slow it down for you as well so you can see exactly what's happening during the ability time. I'm gonna let this play through full speed and then I'll slow it down to show you what's exactly happening. And take a look at skill level 2, I did end up having a bubble there that got in the way, and we could compare skill level 2 to skill level 1 and 3 as well to see what the difference is. So as you can see here, this is going to be the skill range for all the 3 of these skill level. And if you notice earlier, the diagonal slashes were all the same, and you see there for skill level 1 and skill level 2, I was able to make a time bubble. For skill level 1, it's on the right hand side. Skill level 2, it's on the left hand side, and that's from the diagonal slash that it made earlier. Now resuming here, for skill level 1, I made a chain of 17. Skill level 2, I got a chain of 20, and at skill level 3, I got a chain of 23. So not too bad for these lower skill level. Another thing I recommend you to do is try to burst the bubbles immediately after the ability is over. By doing that, you might be able to get right back into ability time. And also, if you're not in fever time, strategically using those bubbles to get yourself back into fever time is very helpful, because you do save a lot of time that way, and you'll be able to extend the game a little bit longer. Alright, so let's take a look at these higher skill level at skill level 4, 5, and 6. At skill level 4, the skill range is going to be large, extra large for skill level 5, and extra large for skill level 6. And keep in mind, the skill range is only in reference to the middle slash and not the 2 diagonal ones for the ability. And then also for the amount of Tsums that you need to clear, at skill level 4 you need 20, 19 for skill level 5, and only 18 for skill level 6. So we're going to be able to see a lot more abilities activated at skill level 6 compared to the lower skill levels. Also, another strategy when you're using Indiana Jones is you want to use the overcharge effect. By using the overcharge effect, you're going to need even less Tsums to activate the ability, especially at skill level 6. So you're going to be able to activate a lot more abilities than just the normal 18. So if you look at skill level 6 here, I was able to use the overcharge there and got a little bit of charge up already before the ability even started. And I was able to burst a couple of bubbles, and in this case not enough bubbles were made, so I couldn't get right back into fever time and ability time. But the overcharge effect is very effective, especially for any Tsums that don't have a freeze screen during the ability time. In this case, the Tsums will continue to fall once you activate the ability, so you don't have to worry about setting up the screen here. Alright, so let's take a look at the abilities activated at the same time at skill level 4, 5, and 6. And just like earlier, I'm going to play this in full speed and then I'll slow it down to show you guys. And take a look at the diagonal slashes here. Both of them, or all 3 of these, are going to be in the same range here. All 3 of these are going to be in the 12 to 14 range. Skill level 4 I got 15 there, which I got lucky. But if you look at the skill range here, it does look a lot thicker at skill level 6 compared to the lower skill level. I also got a time bubble at skill level 6 from the diagonal slash, which is very handy. It does extend the game a little bit, giving you more time to play the game, getting more coins as well. You also can make other bubbles here. As you can see, there's also time bubbles and XP bubbles, so it's not strictly just time bubbles. So moving on here, at skill level 4 I got a chain of 25. Skill level 5 I got 27 and 30 for skill level 6. And looking at the charge up bar here at skill level 6, I'm already pretty much almost full again, more than halfway. So it's very easy to get back into ability time, given that you only need 18 to activate the ability, and during the ability time it's going to charge up halfway. So really you just need to clear about 6 to 8 more Tsums off the screen pretty much every single time at skill level 6, and you'll be able to get back into ability time. So I recommend, if you have him at skill level 6, just focus on clearing Indiana Jones or using those bubbles efficiently to burst Indiana Jones off the screen, and using the overcharge, you definitely can get back-to-back abilities pretty often if you play the game right. So overall, I really like Indiana Jones. He's a really easy Tsum to use, very beginner friendly, and you could casually use Indiana Jones to earn coins while you're watching TV or doing something else, and not really have to stress out about setting up the screen to make sure you're very efficient with Indiana Jones. As long as you're playing and using the overcharge, you can be pretty efficient with Indiana Jones. So with that being said, I definitely do recommend using Indiana Jones as a coin earner, especially if you have him at a pretty high level. So let's go over the results for all 6 of these gameplays. At skill level 1 for Indiana Jones, I was able to get 1,445 coins, which is not too bad for skill level 1, but he's not going to be effective for coin earning until skill level 4. You can start using the 5-4 and coin boost at skill level 5, then it'll be very efficient, but technically you could use him at skill level 4 with the 5-4 and coin boost as well, because it's going to pay off with the boost afterwards. But if you want to make sure that you get your end result to be a positive coin earning position, then you definitely want to use him at skill level 5 with the 5-4 and coin boost. And as for score, it's not too bad either. Keep in mind that all of these gameplays were low level Indiana Jones. And like I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, Indiana Jones becomes very good at level 50. So if you get him to level 50, I do think that he's going to be a good score earner, potentially even getting you 20 million points at skill level 6. So I'm still working on leveling up Indiana Jones, and if you're curious if Indiana Jones is possible to get 20 million points, feel free to message me directly or just send me a message on Discord and I'll let you know what happens at level 50. So that's my review of Indiana Jones. I hope that you guys found this video helpful or at least entertaining, and if you'd like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.